FirstTouch now has native workflow actions inside of HubSpot. So you can do things like send connection requests or send messages without having to leave the HubSpot platform. I'm going to show you how to build a workflow to do exactly that as a follow-up for a webinar. So here I've got the enrollment criteria for my workflow already set. It's just a simple live view of a webinar. Going to add an action here to do some lead rotation. Once a contact owner is set, any social actions in the rest of the workflow will be able to send through that owner's profile. Next, we'll start adding social actions. The first one I want to look at is check connection status. What this is going to do is verify whether or not the contact owner is already connected with this person on LinkedIn. So we can choose the company owner, the contact owner, or do a manual selection, which allows you to just pick a member of your team. Let's stick with contact owner. Then based on this status check, we can branch on whether or not they're already connected. To do that, we're going to add a branch. We can select one property or action output, and then we can find that previous action down here in check connection status and verify whether or not they are connected on social. So for branch 1, you want to enter yes, which means they are connected. For branch 2, you can enter no. This allows you to treat people that you're already connected with a little bit differently than you would a new connection. This is an important distinction because you can only send messages to people that you're already connected to. So by building a branch like this, it allows you to send a connection request to people that you aren't connected to and send a message to people you are. Let's start with the yes branch. Again, I'm going to go to the FirstTouch cards down here and add send message. We can set the sender to contact owner. And then you can use any HubSpot data as dynamic tokens. So let's write a quick message here. Hi, first name. Thanks for attending. And then we can pull in the name of the webinar. Then we'll wrap up with an invitation to chat. The last setting that you're going to want to set is this wait for action completion. Your options are yes, pause this workflow until message is sent, or no, continue immediately. So the reason we have this is because you have a limited number of messages that you can send per day. So if you enroll a bunch of people in this workflow, it's going to batch them out so that you don't exceed your daily limits. By selecting yes, pause workflow until message is sent, the contact will be added to the queue when they hit this action, and then it's going to wait until the message actually goes out before it moves on to the next action in this workflow. The alternative is to continue immediately. That's if you want to execute the next action regardless of whether or not the contact has already received the message. We're going to stick with yes for now and hit save. All right, next I'm going to take us down the not connected branch, and we're going to send a connection request. Very similar to how the send message card works, we're first going to select a sender. You can include a note if you'd like. And then again, you have options for whether or not you want to wait for the action to complete. We also have an additional setting here where you can wait up to 14 days to see if that connection gets accepted. The reason you would want to do this is if you want to send a follow-up message, and if the connection is accepted within that 14-day period, it'll automatically send them a follow-up message. Because we already introduced ourselves and talked about the webinar in the connection request, this message is going to be a little bit different than the other one. Once you're done, you can hit save. So let's go back through this workflow from the start. A contact attends a webinar. You're going to rotate that lead within your team. You're going to see if the contact owner is connected. If they are, you're going to go ahead and send a message inviting them to book a meeting. If they're not, you're going to send a connection request introducing yourself, and then you're going to follow up with that meeting link after they accept. This should open up a ton of opportunities, and there are various other playbooks that we would recommend, including demo request follow-up, sales to service handoffs, and recapturing closed lost deals. Those are just a few of the ways that you can add FirstTouch actions into your existing RevOps infrastructure, and I'm excited to see what new ideas you all come up with. If you have any questions about how these native action cards work, you can message us in Slack and we'd be happy to help you out.